Good afternoon and warm welcome to this special interview. My name is Anoop Verma. I am the editor of ETGovernment, which is a vertical of the Economic Times focused on covering government initiatives and policies. Today, our guest for this special interview is Professor Kamal Kishore Pant. He is the director of IIT Roorkee. His area of interest is futuristic technologies which can lead to environmentally sustainable and socially inclusive outcomes. These technologies belong to the areas such as biofuel production, CO2 conversion technologies, renewable fuels, chemical production, fuel from waste, biomass and waste plastic, metal recovery from electronic waste, water treatment, and residue upgradation. These are all technologies of national and global importance. In 2023, IIT Roorkee won the top innovative research institution and the most innovative institute award. Several initiatives have been taken in IIT Roorkee to bridge the gap between the academia and the industry. In the area of defense research also, IIT Roorkee is playing a very important role. The DRDO Industry Academia Center of Excellence at the institution is conducting some cutting-edge research for several innovative defense technologies. The focus of today's conversation with Professor Pant is the contribution that the academic institutions like IIT are making in achieving the vision of Atmanirbharta in defense. Now I come to you, sir.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. To improve the quality of scientific research in the country, what steps can the government take to enable a greater collaboration between the professors and researchers at academic institutions and organizations like DRDO and the defense industry? What should the government do? What extra can they do?
Yeah, actually, this is, I think, very pertinent question which you have asked. And already the government has made a lot of initiatives like, many IITs, many other NITs and organizations, they have the sponsored project with the DRDO. And to encourage this, in many institutes, this DRDO Center of Excellence have been opened. And this is what we also have here. The purpose of this is to encourage the academic collaboration with the defense related research. And more things when I say, lot of brainstorming sessions would be required, because when you see that, how the futuristic, when we talk about the vision 2047 and how the academic institutes will play the role, in order to look at the Make in India concept. When you talk about the Atmanirbharta and defense, already has done a lot of things, in terms of the self-reliant India and if you look at the data. Now there is a need to increase that, and for that the collaboration, more and more COE type activities should be opened. The interaction among the different institutes is also very important, because different institutes are working with the support of DRDO fund, and in order to avoid the duplication, there should be some kind of workshop, seminars among these different groups who are working, so that there should be a transformational output of the research which can be utilized by the DRDO, and that is very, very important. So I think more workshops, more brainstorming sessions, more COE should be opened. And we have already created a kind of this professor of practice. Most of the institutes have done that, and we are inviting the senior personals from the DRDO organization, so that their input is taken into the account, and the courses are also being implemented accordingly for the need of the hour. So like startups, we have a couple of startups where the DRDO scientists, they have supported our young mentors, and they're working young students and the faculty, and then the products are being developed. So these kind of activities are being promoted. I think more is to be done in the similar direction.
You talk about the professors of practice. So many government servants who have long experience, and the industry players also, they are joining as professors of practice. But are they giving enough lectures, or are there some kind of system to take full advantage of their life's experience?
Yeah, it's both. Actually, see, they have vast experience in their respective domains. Like when we talk about the different DRDO labs, when we talk about we also have a Center for Space Science and Technology, where we have the scientists from ISRO, they have joined as professors of practice. And the purpose is when we talk about the interaction with the student, because these students are the future leaders right? And they will be working in the different sectors of whether DRDO or ISRO. And when we have, or maybe any other industries also. So when we have the experts from the industry and they have joined, so professional talks, like it can be a course like 100 type, right, or 200 type, right, where they can share their experiences, because how the industry, right, and academia should join hands, and how the academic institutes should work jointly with the industry or these kind of organization. There should be a kind of linkage. And for that, I think when they come here, they deliver the talk, right? They interact with the student, they interact with the faculty, right? It helps. Also, they are supporting to promote the outreach activities with their organization where they have worked, because they have the experience. They know that what actually the need of the the organization in terms of the transformational research, and how academic institutes can help. I think their contribution, their input is very, very important.
You have done a lot of work in futuristic technologies, mostly associated with green technologies and the kind of technologies that can help India achieve the net zero goal by 2070. So, but there are other futuristic technologies like AI, ML, IoT, quantum, data analytics, which are even more critical in bringing transformations of all kinds. So, what kind of impact all these technologies that you are researching and these digital technologies can lead to in the defense ecosystem in the next 10 years?
Thank you for this question. I think this is also very important and need of the hour. I think when you talk about artificial intelligence, data science, quantum computation, and a lot of other new tools where the research is in progress. See, large number of data are available. If you look at, we have the now Center for Sustainability, Resilience, and Disaster Risk Reduction, right? You know that, right, the floods, right, these are very, very, right, the common problem nowadays, which is happening because of the heavy rains. Data are available. Why these things happening, right? Same thing with fires, the accidents in the industry, or several other these kind of, right, what you see that, right, which can be avoided in, right, many times. So therefore this, the data which is already available, if we take the help, and now the data science, the artificial intelligence, quantum computation. So we have the fast computational system which can help you, right, to identify the root cause and find out the solution for the future. So I think when you talk about the artificial intelligence can play big role along with the machine learning to facilitate the advanced data analysis and decision-making processes. Right. This can also help in cyber security, because that is also the privacy of the data. These things are very important. And when we have these kind of tools like quantum computation, so now very super fast, right, the devices which can be helpful, 5G, 6G technologies which are coming, right, for detecting the right signals at a faster rate. For so communication will become very, very fast. Internet of Things, right? Because industry needs this IoT 4.0 to 5.0. So how fast these kind of, right, the signals can be processed, how fast the responses can be made, what kind of sensors can be designed, which would be helpful, right, for collecting the data, right, which can be helpful for implementing, right, the whatever the data which has been received, and then finding out the, right, the technology which can be much more, right, helpful, and which can be much more taken at a much more advanced level. So a combination of these tools in all branch of science and engineering, because that is very important, that how now science, technology, engineering, mathematics, economics, these can be, right, taken together, because all branches have equal importance. So now multidisciplinary approach which has already come in the education system, and I think there is a need to work accordingly and look at that how startups can be developed by using these kind of tools, right, which are more computational tools, more towards the electronic signals, right? And these tools would be helpful to all branches of science and engineering. And I think that is the need of our, when you look at the product development, like lot of research is being done on drones, right? How drones, right, can be, right, useful for a longer distance, right, like 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, or even much more, right, for the defense application. This is very important. Same thing, submarine applications, right, detection of the, right, what you call the right, undermines. So all these kind of detonations, right, devices, mine detecting devices, That is helpful, right? And then you need to know that these kind of data, right? Like just simple example, earthquake detection system. Can we have an early detection of earthquake, right? So we are working here at IIT Roorkee. We have it, right, developed a device which can detect up before 45 minutes, right? 45 seconds when it comes, right? But this time is to be increased much more. So I think these kind of tools, when you talk about, right, I think that will definitely be helpful. And the cyber security is very, very important. Data privacy is very, very important. And same thing for the application in healthcare, new kind of medical devices, point of care, disease diagnosis and treatment. I think in all fields, this AI, ML, quantum computation, right, and Internet of Things, like a lot of robotic applications, surgery, and I think these will be very, very helpful. And same thing for defense also, because drones, right, robots, these can help, right, in the remote areas where, right, it is difficult to go directly. And I think those kind of these devices will be helpful.
I think there are two ways by which the academic institutions like the IITs can contribute to the defense sectors when it comes to usage of emerging technologies or futuristic technologies like quantum or AI. One is by helping them in research, what kind of new products can be done. And second is by developing the strategy of what is the future of these technologies, how these technologies can be used and deployed for making the objectives of the defensive systems more clear or more, seamless. So, are you also doing some research on how the strategy for using these new technologies going forward? How these technologies will develop in the next 10 years, and how these technologies can be deployed for better achievements of objectives?
Yeah, see, a lot of work is being done, right, at R&D level by different institutes. IIT Roorkee is also doing. Just an example, like uh, when you teach the students, right, we need to find out now, instead of teaching just like, right, from the book or blackboard teaching, we need to give them the visual experience, right? So artificial intelligence would be helpful, or 5G, 6G technology, which I'm talking, would be helpful to develop some kind of augmented reality or virtual reality, those kind of labs, right? A kind of living lab concept which can come. So if the blast is happening, right, because for training, right, for the army people also, defense people also, so how the explosion is taking place, right? So those can be done through these kind of visual, right, a kind of 3D pictures, and then understand that, right, kind of the interest of that, right, exposure, interest of those, which can be helpful at several platforms when you design a new kind of, say, missiles or some kind of ballistic devices or some kind of detonators, right? So, or maybe like a different kind of defense machines which are required, right? Or tanks design. So I think in all fields, if you understand the actual principle or function, right, whether it is mechanical related, electronic related, computer science related, and then how the improvement can be done in the existing devices. So I think through our young generation, right, the students and the faculty who are working on these areas, and at different areas, these our scientists are working with the support of DRDO, right, researchers, and we are developing the product. Like just with TBRL group, right, blast, right, research lab, which is in Chandigarh TBR, right? So we are working with them. Similarly, with several other defense labs, right, we are working. We are working for say, just an example for army. We have developed this kind of, right, waste plastic, right. We used and developed a road, right, which is used for the high altitude for the army, right, and which is being tested also so successful. Similarly, what you call the helmet, which is, right, a blast proof, right, helmet which has been created. Some of the building which are shock proof buildings, right. Our Department of Architect and earthquake engineering, they worked. So shock-proof buildings we have designed here in the IIT Roorkee Center. So those are for the defense applications, and which can have the application like lightweight building material for earthquake-prone areas. That is also being done. So all these kind of, when you look at now design, right, 3D printing, these kind of helps, right, are required, and these are the new tools which are being used by scientists, researchers, and engineers, along with these kind of, right, data analytical systems which are available. And then they are identifying that which kind of device is the best, and that will definitely be helpful for the all sectors.
You talked about the DRDO Industry Academy Center of Excellence, DISCOE.
Yeah.
This is operational in IIT Roorkee also. So how are these DISCOs contributing to the defense sector in the country?
Yeah, these are very successful because more than 70 projects are running presently at IIT Roorkee in different area. Like I said, AR, VR, right? We are developing the tools, for these kind of augmented and virtual reality labs, devices. We are working on this kind of bulletproof jackets, which are lightweight composite materials. So with this, we are working on this with the lightweight carbon nanotube base, along with the steel composite material. So a lot of material science research is being done for this. Then for this different kind of devices, like what I said, that army tanks, and we are trying to find out what are the existing tanks, and then in what way these can be improved in terms of their efficiency, in terms of reducing the load weight of that device, and how far these cameras, which are required at, even remote areas and for distant. So how these cameras can be designed, redesigned, or for the better performance. Similarly, we also have the drones, different kind of drones, up to 15 kg payload capacity drones we have designed. And now the defense application required that it should be 200 kg, which heavier, payload capacity, as well as the distance wise also it should be of the order of, say 4 to 5 kilometers. So that kind of, with the army, we signed the MOU to work on these areas. So we are looking forward that how, the academic institutes like IIT Roorkee can contribute to the society, can contribute to the army, can contribute, to the DRDO, and then these can be used at large for the nation. So we are doing a lot of research projects on this, and hopefully that some of these will be transformational.
So the needs of the defense forces are sometimes very, very concrete. They know exactly what they want. Whereas the academic research, by its very nature, is very widespread. They are looking at scientific theories, discovering more in terms of science. Whereas the defense forces need more in terms of technology and the actual products. So how do you reconcile the separate, often contradictory goals of the two parts of the spectrum?
Yeah. So some of the technologies, when I say, as I said, that more than 70 projects are going on with DRDO. And some of these technologies, if I say, like smart infrastructure, which we are developing, and hardened structures, which are used for the defense application, Then energy storage devices, because now you know that, battery applications and this. So lightweight, with high energy density materials, which can be used for the defense application. Then landslides, snow, avalanche studies. So we are doing all these kind of studies, which can be helpful. And for these, we are using the tools like, as I said, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and then quantum computation. Then SOC and detonics is another area where we are working with them, with the TBRL lab and studying on this. And lot of studies in terms of the thermal management, we are working with DRDO. And now when there is, look at the need, there is a need, to work to further in these areas. So we are also looking like AI models for landslide and early warning system. So that is also very important in high altitude. We are working on what we call delineate high hazard landslide zones, along with Srinagar to Sonpriyag, to assess the safe heights for cut slopes and design appropriate retain structure. So these kind of structures, which were the remote areas, we need to design these kind of structures. 3D printing and artificial intelligence is helpful, and this is definitely for the DRDO application or the army application, it would be helpful. We are also identifying the different geological structures associated with high landslide hazard zone and demonstrating mitigation measures to protect the defense infrastructure. So that is also important. So we are working. So there are a lot of things. These are a couple of examples I have given, but as I said that just another example is that the melting of, so we are developing anti-freezing agents, which can be used for the high altitudes, So those are also for army tanks, we are doing a lot of research. What kind of fuel, efficient fuel, like as I said, green energy when we talk. So biomass based fuels we are developing, and utilizing it for the vehicular application, which can also be used for the army application. Then recycling is another important, right? In high altitude, lot of plastic waste is coming nowadays. So can we convert this plastic into value-added chemical there itself in a small unit so that they can use it for the whatever, whether it is fuel or the product which can be utilized, and this will be on a small tabletop unit. So that is where, right, they need not to carry the large weight, and just on a small tabletop unit, these devices can be helpful, which can convert the waste into wealth or some energy, and which can be utilized there itself. So those are the right couple of the projects where we are working with them.
Now, I mean, the IITs have obviously contributed a lot to the country in the last few decades, but now the country is changing. We are now becoming more economically powerful. More universities are coming in. Online education is also getting very popular. So how did the IITs evolve with the to keep pace with changing India?
Yeah,
So
actually,
what kind of new curriculums or new teaching methods or new technologies that you are bringing?
see, the one thing is that when you talk about the IIT, basically we are educational institutes, right? And we train the right brain power, we train the skilled person, right? We educate them to learn and then work for the society or like the right for national applications where. So having said that, as I said that now the right education has become the transformational. So now we encourage that kind of mindset, right, among our undergrads or masters, PhD students to have their right a kind of critical thinking and work as a team, right, and develop the product. So the the education has been right now connected to the product development transformational. That is the National Education Policy 2020 has given that advantage. A kind of flexibility has come in the system, right? So our students, right, when they study here, at the same time they work in our what we call tinkering lab, right? They work, as I said, the AR, VR application, AI application, and 3D application printers. So they develop the products there. And then they look at the technical, economical feasibility and market readiness level, because at that it should be right the market acceptable level as well as the society acceptable level. So when we feel that the product is ready, right, we used to have a lot of here, right, the expo also where we invite the industries as well as the right from DRDO, Army to look at those products. And some of these products, right, have shown the right a kind of interest by the industries also, and technologies are being right underway to transform. So the idea is that we are training the manpower and bringing them to a level from where the technology can be developed, which can be commercialized, right? And this has become the aim of every institute, every education institute. Now this can be done in one IIT, one institute, but I think there is a need to join the hands, right, industry, academia interaction, which is now going on. And this has given the advantage. Like we also have here the what we call RT. RT is something like the automobile, right, allied research. So we have developed this right with the support of Ministry of Heavy Industry. So we are developing the products like right for the physically challenged person, how a good kind of vehicle can be designed, right? How the mechanical parts can be designed and developed, right, which are lightweight and much more efficient, and how these can be transformed with or connected with the MSME. So industry right revolution is very important. So how we can have right IITs can join hands with the nearby local industries and develop the products for them. So our students are working there. They are going for their internship, and within our labs, they are developing the product and then connecting with ourselves with the industry. And if these are right functionable or workable, then we ask them to move further. So that is where the kind of during their second year, third year, final year, and during PhD, they take the project which has the commercial value. And that is one thing is that they are getting more and more right fundamentals education connected with the practical application. At the same time, this will be a kind of transformational for Make in India concept, Atmanirbharta concept. So we train them to learn the value of education for the holistic development, and also learn the ethics, how to make the society happy, how can you work for the society, and how your knowledge can develop the product like which can be used within the country. So Make in India, Atmanirbharta. So those kind of right skill development we create. At the same time, we do a lot of training programs for the industries also, right? And like new tools you said, IoT, there are AI application, ML. So how these kind of, right, they're the right what they are doing in their industry, in what way they can improve the efficiency. It's a water conservation, right? Energy conservation, how much lights the right which they are using, how energy efficiency processes can be developed, right? And how the right carbon dioxide, a lot of problems are coming, how the green technologies can be used. So local, which they have the resources available, can it be reused again and again, right? Can the water be used efficiently? Can the water be recycled within the process industry? So those kind of training and those kind of application oriented design we provide them, so that right these are very essential tools, right, where right if they start from their own right small industry level itself. So I think lot of problems related to food, energy, water, that will be solved, and this is the need of the hour. And that is where the vision 2047 also says that sustainability is very important. So we tell them this value of sustainability, and we just train them how to achieve the sustainability or sustainable development goal when they pass through the institute. So we are collaborating with the industry, we are collaborating right with several organizations, and then looking forward a kind of transformation, right, research as well as the holistic development of the students.
The academia and defense sector collaborated in the USA to create the internet in the 1960s and the 1970s. So that is something that we never imagined. That something like the internet can become, and today it has become omnipresent. Everyone is using it. For everything, you need the internet. You need connectivity. So if that kind of research has to be done by our academic institution, so what steps can be taken for that?
See, already see like that 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, right? These are the different right levels of the generations in terms of that right terabytes level of this kind of right signal processing, which is now coming up. When you talk about the application of internet connectivity, right? Of course, the US took the lead, and gradually it was transformed to the right transfer to the other countries also. And India is also now, right, I will say that because we are moving towards a developed country, right? And that's what when we talk about the Vision 2047, India will have all those kind of, right, indigenous technologies when you talk about the right when you talk about the right the internet connectivity, when you talk about the right clean and sustainable energy, when you talk about that application of the artificial intelligence, machine learning, drones. So I think India has now that kind of capability, right? We are leading now, right, in several sectors, and in defense also, right, because a lot of these army, DRDO, they are coming right forward for their having their own right research and getting that right. You have seen the example of ISRO also. So I think now this technology advancement has been right already, right, India has taken lead. And gradually, when you look at the over the year, our engineers which are coming here, right, and developing the product. So soon, I think this kind of right, the connectivity with the much more advanced level, right, this will definitely be going on when we look at the Vision 2047. I'm sure that by 2047, India will have a lot of these kind of indigenous technologies within the country, and that will definitely be helpful for developing the nation. I hope I understood your question correctly and answered it.
Yes, I think it's fine. You are doing a lot of research, as we discussed earlier, in the in environment-friendly technologies field. So, what kind of impact can these technologies have on the national economy in the next 10 years? Technologies like hydrocarbon conversion process, biomass conversion, biofood production, CO2 conversion technologies, e-waste, plastic management, all these technologies. What kind of impact can they have in the next 10 years?
Actually, because I am basically a chemical engineer, and I had been working at IIT Delhi, right, for more than 24 years before joining IIT Roorkee as a director. But my passion for research is still continuing, right, along with the administrative position. Having said that, the technology, like just an example I am giving you that I work mainly on the hydrocarbon conversion treatment, right, green sustainable process. So we developed couple of process like coal to methanol is just one example, right, where when I was in IIT Delhi, as a team, we worked on this for setting up the indigenous coal, right? Indian coal is not of good quality, 40% ash. So with the support of Department of Science and Technology, Thermex, Pune and Niti Ayog, right? We developed this, right, 1 ton per day coal plant, which is now working finely at the Pune, right, in the Thermax plant. And to extend this now, second part of this, because when you talk about coal gasification, right, so this is totally an indigenous technology. I'm talking coal to methanol. So you have a coal gasification and converting into methanol, which is a substitute for the petrol, and further you can convert to dimethyl ether. So these all are the right a kind of fuel. And now second part of this is the carbon dioxide, which is coming through that, because we want to make a complete integrated plant, which is a part of clean coal conversion technology, right? So this methanol can be converted to hydrogen. It can be used for fuel cell application, right? So we are capturing now the carbon dioxide also simultaneously from there and converting this CO2 also to methanol and dimethyl ether. So these are a couple of, right, this is one of the right technologies which I'm talking, and we are working for 500 ton per day to 1500 ton per day of methanol from this. The same thing can be done with biomass, because I have done a lot of work on biomass, right, to hydrogen, biomass pyrolysis. So that is plenty of this biomass agriculture residue is available, right? If you can convert this biomass effectively into a fuel like, right, bio oil you can call, and you can convert it into different chemicals by using catalysts, right? And these are the green chemicals, right? So when you do the proper treatment, so you will call it a green chemical because this is not based on the fossil derived feedstock. Same biomass can be converted to hydrogen. So approximately 15 kg biomass can give you 1 kg hydrogen. Same kitchen waste, right? We are working on this, which is, can be converted to biogas, and that biogas which contains, right, methane and carbon dioxide, you can again take out the methane from there, and that is a kind of, right, your pipe natural gas you use, right, for the kitchen or domestic purpose. So that can be used as a fuel. These are clean fuel, green fuel. So we are working in those areas, and we are looking forward the transformation, right, transfer this technology. Also, I have, my team has worked in total for the plastic waste utilization and electronic waste. So we set up, right, this 50 kg per day, right, electronic waste metal recovery, because e-waste is a big challenge. In fact, e-waste, battery waste, and future will be, right, when you talk about e-vehicles, then a lot of this battery waste will come in picture, right? We need to recover the metal. So that is the concept of circular economy. So if you are able to develop, right, the process which can take out the materials, right, which are valuable materials, right, and again reuse into the system, right, so that you cannot generate the, you can get rid of the waste which is coming, and again waste to wealth or waste to energy. So those kind of technologies which are need of the hour at present, which are need of the circular economy concept, which are need for the, right, Atmanirbharta Swachh Bharat when we talk, right? I think these kind of these areas where our team is working, our group is working, and definitely this will be helpful to the society. So this is what I can say at this point.
So, are you trying to encourage some kind of startups in these areas? Because some startups, they are able to innovate very fast. Like we have the stories and like Google and others, they came up from scratch and out of universities only, and they are now ruling the world. So,
Yeah.
I mean, these are also the technologies that you have mentioned. These are also very important, and they are going to become very much more important in the times to come. So, should we encourage startups in these areas?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah, there
already doing
is.
that?
See, for electronic waste, we already have 50 kg per day plant, right, which is we are, right, using for demonstration. And we have designed, right, couple of these, right, based on our technology, right. We are just looking forward, and startup on carbon dioxide capture and conversion. We have already, right, initiated this. So that is where the carbon dioxide related you can capture and convert it into the product. The plastic waste, right? We have transferred the technology. We have 3 patents on this plastic waste to liquid fuel conversion, and we have transferred it to, right, some of the one industry, and they are using it. So likewise, right, we have in total, when you talk about solid waste management, right, which is plastic, electronic waste, biomass, right, and then converting into some kind of the useful product. So that kind of startup we have here. And Indie Energy is again a startup which is working at IIT Roorkee, where that is battery related activity. So we are using sodium based battery, and recycling, also complete recycling, right, for this kind of battery applications. We are working for this. So IIT Roorkee have more than 140 startups in total, if you look at, right, because we are encouraging this startup activity in the campus. And a lot of these startups are now, at least 5 technologies have been transferred, right, to my knowledge. And many more startups like we are looking forward, because if you look at to promote this kind of R&D activities, now we have opened more and more centers. So now there are 14 centers in different areas, right, where we are looking forward a kind of transformation research and encouraging the students to go for their own startups, right? We have the incubation center also. I have also and tides. So these also help to the students to have their own startups, create the a kind of make it to the commercial level. And beside that, several Section 8 companies like RT is one of the Section 8 company, which is related to automobile, with ICAT support and Ministry of Heavy Industry. Drone is another, where we have now startup, and we are looking support from our state government of Uttarakhand, where jointly we will work for this drone design for a 200 kg payload capacity. We have this MOU with AIMS Rishikesh and AIMS Delhi also, where we are developing several healthcare products jointly with medical institutes. So those kind of the products which are now already at the TRL level 5, 6 and taken to a level of 9. And we are looking forward now the startups on these.
So in the last 10 years, what are the key achievements of IIT Roorkee in the area of research and development, in your opinion?
Yeah, actually, if you look at the education system has now changed a lot, so whether if you look at last 10 years, that time this culture of startups were not there, definitely, most of the teaching was towards the blackboard teaching, and that's all, Students were just focused only to have the grades, so education system was not that much a kind of the product oriented, The students were happy with the grades, they were happy with the jobs, But and although the academic systems have done a lot in terms of developing the R&D activities, So several these collaborations have started, when you talk about the last 10 years, data. And IIT Roorkee also, did the same. And lot of new development in terms of the, when you talk about the promotion of the R&D activity. Accordingly, the traditional branches, which were only 5 or 6 that time, lot of new branches came. And IIT Roorkee has its own, when you talk about the couple of branches like hydrology, water resource development and management, disaster mitigation and management, that is a center, and then earthquake engineering, And beside the traditional, what you have the civil engineering, mechanical, chemical, electrical, electronics, and all other branches. So now we, you look at that because of the need of the hour, and there were several new branches were opened, and that's what the artificial intelligence and data science, which has been opened recently. Because it then gradually, when this national education policy, 2020 came, and it was the need of the hour that the country should think for the technology development. Before that, most of the technologies were imported, there was no concept. Industries were also least bothered to take the industry technology which were developed in the country. So the industry and academic collaborations were negligible or very low, if I say before 10 years, But gradually that increased. Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, and then PSA office, Niti Aayog, these came recently. But Department of Science and Technology, Science and Research Board, and several ministries, they started supporting the research with the support of industry. So that was the era where the industry academia collaboration promoted. So because before that, the thesis, research, all these were of the fundamental type. And and then it was jumped, The application oriented research was less, but then the era came where the government started promoting that every research, every project should have some kind of output, and that will happen only when the industries are connected with the project, So now most of the projects, most of the kind of, when you talk about different COE activities which are coming, different projects which are coming, they have the research component, which is the support of industry. It may be sometimes it is financial support also with the industry, some in terms of the knowledge, in terms of kind support, to the facilities provider. But that helped a lot. That increased the right? Collaboration between industry and academia that increase the awareness about, right, among the students also, that how the education system, right, can be made transformational. That had changed the entire, right, domain or the gamut of the education system. So gradually now you see that every IIT, every educational institute, NIT or state engineering college, every institute have the, right, the collaboration with the industry, right? And DRDO is one of the examples of that, but there are several, right? We have the Center for Space Science and Technology. We are doing a lot of research for them. We are doing research for DRDO. We have a lot of projects from the Ministry of Food because we encourage this vocal for local concept also, right? And that is the vision for, right, next 10 years when you see, right, 2047, and then how the IIT, right, will have the contribution, and in the same way how IIT Roorkee will contribute. So we started with the concept of vocal for local, right? So because you know this Uttarakhand itself has a lot of, right, challenges, right, which are to be addressed. Like I said, that flood, right, the landslide, right. So we have the researchers, scientists who are working on these areas, right. We are looking forward that what I said in the beginning, the major challenge when you talk about the problem, right, global problem, I will say it is a food, energy, and water, right. So we are looking forward that how, right, research can provide the nutritious food to every Indian citizen or every citizen of the globe, right? How sustainable energy, clean energy can be provided to everyone, and how potable water can be provided. So you know that only 3% potable water is available all around the world, right? So we have to conserve the water effectively. And this is where the education, right? We need to educate our society. Women empowerment is very important. We have to train our women, right? In the rural areas, especially, right? What is the importance of education? We have to train them. And this is, I think, we are playing the role now that we are just looking forward that how our students are connected with the rural area and make these what we can urbanize when you talk about the smart village, right? Smart urban cities, right? So smart cities. So that is where the, even in the most of the, right, if you look at the village or rural area, they don't have the good education schools, right? So we need to work for them, right? So mobile lab concept should be there, right? Can we have the where the students can see, right? And plus two student, primary school, right? They should have good education system, right? How can we make their schools smart, right? Give them the training of what you are talking about, artificial intelligence, right? Machine learning. At least they should have a computer there, right? And to, right, understand those things, right? So we have to create those kind of infrastructure. I think education can do that. And we are just inviting the students from different schools, colleges, right? And giving them that kind of training, we're asking them to work in our tinkering lab because they are brilliant minds. And but we need to just, right, open their eyes, or make them, right, thoughtful, more and more thoughtful, and give them the, right, a kind of, right, that they can just change the nation, they can work for the nation if they use the education effectively. So I think the next 10-year vision is something when it's similar to what you call 2047. What is the vision for 2047 and how education institute, when we are talking, we talk in terms of Viksit Bharat 2047, and vision is towards that Viksit Bharat 2047, where the major problem, which I said, food, energy, water, how to make the society happy, right? That is the meaning of education, right? If you are able to make your neighbors happy, it means your job is done. So everybody should learn that message, right? And then potable water, sustainable energy, right? We are working for hydrogen, right? Application of green hydrogen, right? We would like to have a center of excellence here in IIT Roorkee on the production of green hydrogen, transportation of green hydrogen, storage of green hydrogen. Same thing, a large amount of agriculture residue which is available. How can we utilize effectively, right? In terms of fuel or in terms of energy, right? Which can be used by the local people only, right? Then there are a lot of foods are available, right? Vegetable fruits are available, vegetables and fruits. How can we enhance the shelf life of those foods? Honey is also one of the product which is available, right, in the Uttarakhand. How can we make this honey of world class international level? So we have a project now, right, where we are working on this, right? So there are several, right? So, and we are working for this now 5G, 6G technology. We are working for different kind of, right, drones design, because in remote area, it is necessary that during, especially when there are the kind of right, there is a floods or heavy rain, then right, the how the patients can be right transferred from the remote areas to the right hospitals, nearby hospitals, and so how can the medicine be supplied to them. So that is, I think, we need to look forward, and that is very important. And I'm happy that the government is looking for right and supporting in these activities, and we are jointly working with the whatever the vision of the nation. So we are working for that.
I think this is a very interesting view of higher education that you have presented. It's
Yeah,
not
thank
just
you.
about intellectual training, it is also about helping the environment, social inclusion, economic transformation, and making the country Atmanirbharta. All these things come under the domain of the higher education.
Yeah,
So this is a very interesting view of higher education that you have presented.
thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kant.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for this conversation.
Namaskar.
It was very nice talking to you.
Yeah, namaskar. Dhanyawad.